school, so I am going to be your admissions counselors for your students. And I'm also based in Houston for your convenience. So if you ever want to meet with me, well, after COVID, if you ever want to meet with me, I'm always happy to do that. And I'm always happy to schedule virtual one-on-one appointments with you and your family as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by sharing my presentation. So a little history about Sam Houston. We were founded in 1879 as the Sam Houston Normal Institute, and we were founded in Huntsville, Texas. A fun fact about Huntsville, Texas is it was actually the only other city in Texas that could have been the state capital. They chose Austin, but I still think that's pretty cool. We were also founded as the first teacher training institute in the southwestern United States. So out of all the universities in Texas, we were the first university in the state to start teaching teachers. And that is why we like to say we're a great name in education. In 1969, that is when we were renamed Sam Houston State University, and we do have a university motto, which is the measure of a life is its service. Whenever I was applying for positions after college, this really attracted me to our university because to me, the purpose of my life is to serve others. And if you believe the purpose of your life is to serve others, then I do think that Sam Houston's going to be a really great choice for you. Some quick facts about our university. We are considered the 12th largest public university in the state of Texas, but despite being the 12th largest, less than 1% of our classes have over 100 students. So we do try very, very hard to make sure that our students are having a smaller class size, because studies show, they're very indicative, they show that the smaller the class size, the better the student's going to do grade-wise. They're going to get to know their professor better, and they're also never really going to fear asking their professors questions when there's not 500 students in one class. We've also been ranked #1 in the state of Texas for placing students in the Texas workforce. Usually people want jobs after graduation, so we're a great bet for y'all. We've also been ranked in the top 10% of best colleges for the money. So we're around $1,000, $2,000 more affordable than some of the larger universities in the state of Texas. In regards to what we've done for our community, again, we believe that the measure of a life is its service to its community. And because of that, we've actually contributed over 600,000 hours to our community and donated over $8 million to our community as well. We have a 316-acre campus, but it's always going to be very easy to walk anywhere. I actually love it because it's like a little tiny city. You get to walk everywhere. We do have close to 22,000 students, and we do have a very diverse student population. We even have over 70 different countries from around the world present on our campus. And we do have a 23-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. So when you do hear about the student to faculty ratio, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's our class size. This just means that we have a lot of different professors on campus in hopes that they can help you the best that they can. So again, student to faculty ratio means that we have a lot of professors, but it doesn't necessarily indicate how large our class size is. Again, less than 1% of our classes have over 100 students, so we do try to keep our class sizes very small. So for colleges, majors, programs, I am just going to talk quickly about some of our most popular programs. Please feel free to ask any questions that you may have at the end of the presentation. Feel free to ask them while we're in the presentation, and no matter what, I'll make sure to get to them afterwards. So for the College of Business Administration, we are what's known as AACSB accredited. That's the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, and less than 5% of business schools in the world can say that for their College of Business. So we're doing really great for business. A lot of our business programs can also be moved to online degrees too, if you were interested in that. And no matter what you decide to do in business, all of our business students start out by taking the same classes together their first 2 years. So this really helps build a great sense of community with our business students. Our dean also made it a requirement for every business degree to have an organization associated with it. So I really, really encourage my students to get as involved in the business organizations as they can. And we also have a living learning community for business students. So if you want to live on campus with other business majors, you can always do that. For the College of Criminal Justice, that is probably what we're most well known for. We do have the best criminal justice program in the state of Texas. We've actually been ranked top 3rd in the world for criminal justice. So if you think that you're interested in any type of thing regarding criminal justice, I do think we're going to be a great choice for you. We're also one of only 6 universities in the entire nation with our own body farm. So people do donate their bodies to us in the name of science, and our students get to work with our faculty members on research programs because of that. So we are going to have a lot of great experiences. We're also the first college in the entire nation to create an entire department based off of victim studies. So victim studies is going to be a really great degree or minor to pursue if you're interested in advocating for victims, understanding victims, and helping them. For the College of Education, we were the first university to found an education program in the Southwestern United States. We have been teaching teachers the longest, and we also have the longest standing accreditation for education in the state of Texas. We've created what's called a 4+1 program that allows our students to graduate simultaneously with a bachelor's and a master's degree in 5 years. So you would be getting a master's degree about a year or so sooner than you would if you were to go to a different university. But the coolest part about this program is that if you get accepted to it, we'll actually pay for your master's degree. So you could get a free master's degree from Sam Houston. We also offer what's called a composite science program, which would allow students to actually be certified to teach 3 different science subjects. Science teachers are very, very in demand in the state of Texas, around the country actually, and if you are qualified or certified to teach 3 different subjects, you're really going to have an easy time getting hired at any ISD you want. We have over 80 different relationships with ISDs all around the area, and people want to hire our graduates. So I do think we're going to be a really great choice if you do want to be an educator in the future. For College of Arts and Media, we actually just finished building our brand new art building last year. We spent a few pennies on that. It was quite expensive. But for me, I actually think that this shows it's a testament to our dedication to our art and media students. We actually built an entire building just for them so that they could have their own space. We have a really amazing graphic design and animation program. In fact, with animation, we're going to show you every single type of animation that exists before you decide what type of animator you would like to be. We also have a really great mass communication program. If any of you here think that you are interested in journalism, that's going to be what mass communication is. We have award-winning radio stations, newspapers. We also have an award-winning news station too, that you can all take part of if you're interested in these, so a lot of experience. Our theater program does pride itself on making students a triple threat, learning how to sing, act, and dance, and we're one of the only accredited music therapy programs in the state of Texas. We have a great music program too. You can concentrate in things like performance, education, and in itself, I think that we really, really do an amazing job at showing our art students that we're here for them. So College of Health Sciences, some of the more popular programs in here are going to be nursing, kinesiology, and what used to be athletic training. So something you should know if you're interested in athletic training is that the guidelines to become an athletic trainer in our country have now changed. And because of that, students can no longer become an athletic trainer with solely a bachelor's degree. So we no longer offer a bachelor's degree in athletic training. We do offer it in a master's degree. So if you are interested in athletic training, you would most likely pursue something like kinesiology. If any of you are interested in becoming a coach for a school, kinesiology is also going to be the degree that you pursue. And then in regards to nursing, that is probably one of the more popular programs that we have that's part of this college. For our nursing program is what's known as a 2+2 program. So you would spend your first 2 years at SAM, and if you get accepted to our nursing program afterwards, you'd spend your last 2 years at the Woodland Center in Conroe, right across from College Park High School. The reason we moved our nursing program off campus is because in a 1 mile radius surrounding it are the 5 best hospitals in Houston. So you are going to be getting some of the best nursing experiences because we decided to locate our nursing program in that location. And not only that, last year we had a 100% pass rate on the NCLEX exam. So we have a very successful program. Our students are graduating from their program and they're really getting to work anywhere they want. And I think that's really great. For the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, this is where our pre-law program is housed. If any of you are interested in becoming a lawyer, we do have the second highest amount of students who get accepted into law school each year in the state of Texas. If you are interested in being a lawyer, you actually do not have to pursue a specific degree. The most common degrees pursued are going to be political science or philosophy. We have great programs for that. But if you know what type of lawyer you want to be, or if you kind of have maybe a suspicion of what type of lawyer you'd want to be, I also encourage you to pursue those types of degrees as well, because that's what's going to make you stand out in your application to law school. If you know you want to be a corporate lawyer, get a business degree. If you know that you want to be a criminal justice lawyer, get a criminal justice degree, a family lawyer, get a psychology degree. There's a lot of different options for you, and our pre-law society is going to ensure that you get to law school and get to the law school that you want. Recently, in the past few years, we've actually seen an increase in the amount of students who get to go to the law school of their choice, and we're really excited about that. Also within the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, we do actually have a Spanish education program in this college. So if you want to be a Spanish educator, you'd actually get a degree that's part of this college. We also have an amazing psychology program. We are one of only 3 universities in the state of Texas that offer a master's and doctoral program in clinical psychology. If any of you want to be a psychologist in the future, you will need to pursue at least a master's, if not a doctorate. And again, we are one of only 3 universities in the state that offer that. Lastly, with our College of Science and Engineering Technology, some of the popular programs in here are going to be, of course, our engineering technology programs. So with us, we don't have the regular engineering degree. What we have instead is what we like to call engineering technology, because the way we like to describe it is an engineering degree, but you're actually combining the experiences you would be getting at a technical school or a trade school. So for us, our philosophy is that hands-on experience is the best and most important experience. And if you don't get that hands-on experience, people may not want to hire you when you graduate. So yes, your grades are important, but we know that actually what's really important is getting the practical experience you need to be successful after you graduate. Because of that philosophy, we do boast a near 100% job rate with our engineering technology students. We also have a really great pre-dental and pre-med program, as well as a pre-vet program. So any student who has pursued animal science to become a veterinarian, if they've graduated from SAM and still wanted to pursue going to vet school, they have gotten in. We do have a 100% success rate with that. We have the second largest amount of students who get accepted into dental school each year in the state of Texas. And of course, with our pre-med program, we are a very successful school for pre-med students. In fact, this year, this fall, for the first time ever, we are opening our doors to the first ever self-funded osteopathic medical school in the state of Texas. So we do now have a medical school for our students. The difference between osteopathic medicine versus other types of medicine is that an osteopathic doctor does have a more holistic approach to how they're going to treat their patients. So instead of just immediately prescribing medication, they are going to try to find what's happening in your life first to see if they can solve those before ever trying to give you medication. I think it's really exciting, and I also think that it's definitely needed, especially since we see a problem in East Texas and rural parts of Texas. Our hope is to bring providers to these rural parts of Texas so that we can continue helping Texans. So campus life and culture. We do have over 3,500 students who live on campus. As far as residence life, you do have to live on campus your freshman year. So some things, you do have to live on campus your freshman year. So some ways to not do that is if you do decide to to take 100% online courses, you will not have to live on campus. And if your parents live within a 60-mile radius, you will be allowed to commute to campus. But I generally tell students that if you are going as a freshman, I always encourage students to go ahead and try to get that full experience and live on campus at least 1 year. We have living learning communities, and what this means is you can actually live with people who you're pursuing the same degree as. So you can live with other criminal justice majors, you can live with other art majors, you can live with students who are part of the honors college. We have a lot of those different options. And of course, we have a lot of places for you to eat. Chick-fil-A, Steak and Shake. I think we have 2, maybe 3 Starbucks on campus, so you're always going to get your caffeine fix, I promise. And speaking of all these great restaurants, you may or may not gain a little weight when you get to college. So how do you stop that? We actually have a lot of really great services for y'all to get your fitness on. Again, this is stuff that you're paying for in your tuition. So when you see these services and when a university talks about these services, these are also things that are included when you pay for tuition and fees. So if you're paying for a gym membership, I want you to utilize that. We also have something called recreational sports. Recreational sports is just kind of like a huge network of people playing sports for fun. We have intramural and club sports. So intramural sports, again, are people playing just for fun against each other within Sam Houston. But club sports, what's cool about club sports is that they actually go and compete with other clubs at other universities. We have male teams, female teams, we have co-ed teams. One of my more my more favorite ones is going to be our Quidditch team. If any of you are familiar with Harry Potter, yes, we do have a Quidditch team, and it's pretty intense sometimes. If you're not really into tackling, I actually wouldn't recommend joining the Quidditch team. We have group fitness, we have personal trainers for y'all, and we also have what's called our Bearcat Camp. I highly encourage y'all to sign up to attend Bearcat Camp before you start your first semester, because it's a great way to make friends before your classes start, and it's a great way to learn all of the traditions at SAM while having fun in a camp setting. Whenever you do start your first semester at SAM, in the fall, every fall, we have a huge tradition called Welcome Week, where we have so many different activities happening. So something I do want y'all to know is that we have accommodated because of COVID-19. And so for this fall, if students do plan to attend courses on campus, and if students do plan to attend these events, not only are we going to make sure that safe spacing is going to be involved, we're going to be mandating masks, and we're going to be handing out masks to every single student, as well as hand sanitizer. Y'all, safety is our #1 priority, and we also want to make sure that you're enjoying your first year on campus. We also have over 260 clubs and organizations for you to join. I think it's an amazing opportunity for you to join a club or organization. It's a great way to make friends for a lifetime. And if we don't have something that you're interested in, you can always create your own club or organization very easily. So we also have what's called study abroad. Many universities offer study abroad opportunities, and some of our more popular destinations right now are going to be places like Costa Rica, South Korea, and we're also currently working on an opportunity for our students to start doing study abroad opportunities within the United States. Again, the measure of a life is its service. Bearcat All Paws In is a day once a year that we host where we go and serve our community. It's an exceptional opportunity to help people who are part of our community. As an example, if someone needs, maintenance on their house done, we got that. And if you believe that the purpose of your life is to serve others, I highly encourage you to sign up for an academic community engagement course, or what we like to call ACE course. And the reason we have these is because these courses specifically require some type of volunteer connection or time before you can get a credit for the course. I kind of like to say, if you like to be voluntold to do stuff, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. All right, services and resources. So we do provide a lot of services because we want to make sure that y'all are going to be academically successful when you get to SAM. Please do not worry about falling behind. We have a writing center, math center, we have tutors, peer mentors. The only issue is that if you do not take the initiative to come and talk to us, we can't help you. So please take that first step, come and talk to us. We want to make sure that you are being as successful on campus as you can be. We also have a service called the Student Money Management Center. This past year, we were actually ranked 5th in the nation for helping students with their finances. And the Student Money Management Center is going to help you understand the money that you're being offered from SAM, but they can also help you with budgeting, financial goals. What's a 401k? How do I take out loans? What's APR? All of the things that you need to know about finances and you may not know, we can help you with. Not only that, we actually host 3 to 4 events every single semester. And if you attend these events, your name will actually be entered to win a scholarship. It's a raffle. So we're actually giving students money to learn about money. And I think that's pretty exciting. We also have a health center for our students. This is something that you're paying for in your tuition. So for me personally, I did not have health insurance when I started college, and that was scary. But knowing that our university offers that resource for you, I think is really good. We also actually have a dentist on campus for you. It's not necessarily associated with Sam Houston, but they do provide discounts for Sam Houston students. And we have a pharmacy for you. We have a counseling center because personally for me, I believe that every person watching this and every person anywhere can always use someone to talk to at one point in their lives. And we also have our services for students with disabilities. If there is anything that you need help with, again, we want to make sure that you are being as successful as possible. And so as an example, if you have test anxiety, if you need more time taking your tests, as long as you have a doctor's note or a doctor's referral, we are going to work with you to make sure that you are getting the best services and the best treatment possible so that you can maintain academic success. We are, for athletics, we are NCAA Division I. We're also part of the Southland Conference like HBU. In 2019, so this past year, we actually claimed 7 different championships, and 5 of those were actually in men's titles. And in this last past year, we also won the Commissioner's Cup for the 2nd year in a row. So what the Commissioner's Cup entails is for every single win that a university has, they get a certain amount of points for each win that a university has. And so the winner of the Commissioner's Cup, ultimately pretty much had the most wins for that year. And I think that's pretty cool. So admissions. So I do apologize. I did not realize that this was out of date. It is now a $50 non-refundable application fee. Now, if you receive free or reduced lunch, or when you complete the FAFSA, if your estimated family contribution is less than $5,000, we can offer you an application waiver. So go ahead and talk to Dr. Bailey or to your high school counselor to ask about that application waiver. You do have to submit an official high school transcript to us, and you do also have to submit your official test scores. Now, during COVID-19, an update that we are allowing is we actually are allowing your high school counselors to email us PDF copies of your high school transcript and your test scores. I highly encourage you to use this method because it will be the fastest and best method to get your document sent to SAM. Now, because of COVID, we are actually doing some changes. So I'm going to go ahead and share to a different screen so that we can talk about some of the COVID updates that we do have on campus. So this is on our website, and the reason that I'm showing y'all this way is so you know that you can always come back to this website if you do need more information. So one thing is our admissions deadlines have not changed. So if you are applying for fall 2021, you have until next August to apply, so you got plenty of time. Again, we are accepting high school transcripts directly from a high school counselor via email. Please make sure your high school counselor is using their official school email address when they send it to us. Well, something that also occurs is students see that they're required to send their final high school transcript. Even though that's technically a requirement, it's not actually a requirement for admission. We just need that once you graduate. So don't worry, you won't not get accepted if you don't send that because we know you haven't graduated yet. Now for testing, ACT and SAT, we are not technically test optional because if you have an ACT or SAT score on file, we need that score sent to us. But because of COVID, if you are unable to take the ACT or SAT, we understand. And so because of that, we still need you to apply, pay the application fee or submit an application waiver, have your high school counselor send us your high school transcript, and then after that, email the Office of Admissions letting us know that you do not have test scores. What this is going to do is change your test to your application to a test optional application, and we will contact you with further instructions on how to complete that your application. So if you have not taken the ACT or SAT, if you do not have that opportunity, we still will help you. Alrighty. So freshman admission requirements. So what makes us stand out against some other universities in the state of Texas is that we do not look at class rank. So the class rank that we do look at is top 10% because Texas tells us we have to. So if you are in the top 10%, we are going to automatically admit you. But for the other 90% of students who are not in top 10%, we do have an automatic admission requirement. And what this means is if you meet the criteria that's on the screen right now, you will get accepted to Sam Houston automatically without having to write an essay. So let's say that you have a 3.1 high school GPA on a 4.0 scale. This means that you need a 4.0 or unweighted GPA, and sometimes your high schools are going to give you a weighted GPA, so make sure you talk to your counselor to find out what your unweighted GPA is. Now, if you have a 3.1 unweighted GPA, all you have to get on the ACT is a 19 or a 10 on the SAT, and you are accepted automatically, no questions asked. I highly encourage you to try to aim for these scores because the higher your ACT or SAT, the better chance you have of getting scholarships as well. But again, if you do not have the opportunity to take the ACT or SAT, we will offer you a different holistic review process. I do encourage you in that holistic review process to describe why you couldn't take the ACT or SAT, but mainly we want to make sure that our students are describing why they believe they are academically prepared for college. If you can show us that you are going to be academically successful in college, we want you. Because our main goal is setting our students up for success. And if we believe that you're not academically prepared for college, we want to make sure that you're going to other methods first before coming to SAM, because again, our number one goal is to make sure that our students are successful when they get here. Now, transferring. Going to community college has become very, very popular. I definitely encourage it because it's a great way to save a lot of money. Now, something else to consider is that if you are a high school student who is taking dual credit courses, by the time you apply for SAM, if you have at least 12 college credits completed and a 2.5 GPA at that community college, we'll accept you automatically without your ACT or SAT scores. So if anyone here watching does have dual credit and has that 12 credit minimum, we can accept you because of that. And I think that's pretty cool too. Now, paying for college. Over 72% of our students do receive some form of financial aid. Now, something to consider is when you do hear a university talking about the percentage of students receiving financial aid, they're not just talking about free money. And so what I'm talking about when my students receive financial aid, I'm talking about free money, but I'm also talking about loans. There are 4 different types of financial aid. Grants are usually given from the federal or state government. You do not have to pay back. Scholarships are also free money, a lot of the times merit-based. Loans is money offered by the government or private loans that you have to pay back. And work study is an option for you to work part-time on campus and receive a paycheck. We offer scholarships for CATs. If any of you here are applying for fall 2021, I highly encourage you to get accepted and apply for scholarships by our priority scholarship deadline, which is this November 1st. And if you can do this, this is going to drastically increase your chances of receiving free money at Sam Houston State University. Now, something else that we provide that I'm really, really proud of is called our Bearcat Promise. So our Bearcat Promise guarantees that any student with a family income of $40,000 or less, we will pay for your tuition and fees for up to 15 semester credit hours. So what that means is if you decide to only take 4 classes or 12 credits, we're still going to pay you for 15 credits each semester. The only thing that you'll be responsible for is paying for your housing. So again, if your family makes $40,000 or less, we will pay for your tuition and fees by offering you grants and scholarships. Now, you do have to meet some criteria in order to be eligible for this. And so some things that you have to do is you have to apply for FAFSA by November 1st. It opens October 1st, so you have to apply for FAFSA by then. And you also have to apply for scholarships by November 1st. And as long as you're doing these things, there's a great opportunity that you're going to get a lot of help when it comes to money when you come to Sam Houston. If y'all have any questions after that about our Bearcat Promise, I'd be more than happy to help y'all. And I'd also be more than happy to schedule a one-on-one virtual meeting or appointment with y'all so that we can discuss how y'all can meet those criteria to get the Bearcat Promise. Alrighty. So I am almost done, I promise. So the last thing that I would love for y'all to do is visit SAM. So right now, of course, during COVID, it has made visiting campuses very difficult. If y'all still want to visit SAM in person, you are more than welcome to walk around on campus. And something else that we're actually providing right now is live virtual campus tours. So just like a regular campus tour, but just online, you're going to be following a student tour guide. And this is still a really great opportunity for you to get to know SAM and get to learn experiences from our tour guide. So we are also going to have our next preview day. Our goal is to hopefully have our Saturday at SAM preview day on campus with limited registration. Our next registration or our next event is going to be on October 17th, and I highly encourage you to go ahead and sign up. This is a free event. All you have to do is drive to Huntsville, which is from Spring ISD, maybe around 45 minutes to an hour. It's a great opportunity for you to speak with future professors, make friends, learn about clubs, organizations, and just really get to experience campus. Alrighty, y'all. So this is my contact information right here. I'm also going to be putting my contact information in the chat box in a second. And of course, Dr. Bailey and your high school counselors from Spring ISD are familiar with me and have been working with me for a few years. So if you do end up missing my contact information, please just reach out to your high school counselor and they can get you connected with me. Alrighty, y'all. So if there are any questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask. And I am going to go ahead and put my contact information in the chat box right now. All right, looks like we do have a question. What is FAFSA? Okay, that's a great question. Thank you so much. FAFSA is known as the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So what this means is when you complete the FAFSA, you have to complete the FAFSA because this shows how much money you need, if that makes sense. So students with parents with a very high income probably don't necessarily need as much financial assistance as someone with parents with a lower income. So this determines your need. And something else to consider is that if you are planning on taking out loans when you go to college, you still need to complete the FAFSA because, again, it shows your financial need. So if any of you have older siblings who didn't get anything from FAFSA and you're saying, oh, well, there's no point in doing FAFSA now because my older sibling didn't get anything. Well, something else to consider is that FAFSA determines your situation. And so now if your parents have two students going to college, that means that their estimated family contribution is going to increase, which means that if they're expected to pay even more money and if they can't afford that, you may possibly get even more money from the government. So that is what FAFSA is. Great question. Does anyone have any other questions?
Any questions, guys? Feel free. That was a lot of good information, Jasmine. I was taking notes. I was writing things.
And don't worry, I plan on sending y'all a fancy newsletter in the next week or so. I hope you like it.
Okay, yes. So this is all good information. I'm still checking if you have a question, you can put it in the Q&A or chat. So we're monitoring, looking at both. I just want to say this, give y'all time to kind of think. Your college counselors are going to be walking you all through some of this, guys. I know it can be overwhelming. The main thing you want to start considering is what's a good fit for me. Each campus has provided you basically the information about what programs they offer, the size of their campus, what extracurricular opportunities, things like that. That all goes into what is good for me, you know. So let's see, we got a couple of other questions.
I do, I see them. First, thank you for liking my glasses. I like them too, and that just made my day. But no, there isn't a curfew. It's more just, you know, trying to be respectable towards your fellow students. So if it's midnight and you're jamming out pretty loud, someone's gonna probably tell you something. But no, when you live on campus, you are free to enter and leave your dorm whenever you want. I don't recommend staying out all hours of the night though, because you know you're paying a little bit of money for your classes and you should get a good night's sleep. But no, there is no curfew. Another question is, doesn't Sam have a great dance program? Yes, we do. Thank you for asking about that. We have one of the oldest and most successful dance programs in the state of Texas. You would receive a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in dance. And the reason that many students choose our dance program compared to other dance programs in the state of Texas is that freshman students get a ridiculous amount of opportunities to dance. Of course, we focus on dance theory as well, but really our goal is to get our students to dance as much as possible. So great question. Thank you very much. I also see in the chat that Julian Mannings did ask what my information was. I did put right above my email as well as my phone. My work phone. I do think that emailing me is probably the best way to contact me just because I do things like this often. And if you call me, I can't necessarily pick up my phone while I'm doing presentations. But of course, you can text me, you can call me if you want as well, and I'm always going to make sure to answer your questions.
All right, any other questions? And I see in the chat, Julian, you asked for contact information. If you look in the chat, Ms. De Leon, Jasmine De Leon is for Sam Houston State. And then Danielle Gonzalez is Houston Baptist University. And both of them put their emails and their contact information in the chat. So be sure to write that down somewhere. And guys, they work specifically with Spring. I mean, Spring is one of their assigned areas. So the good thing about, and I've worked, like Jasmine, I worked with her for a couple of years. They will answer your questions. So don't, email, and whenever you have a question, your college counselors are great, but sometimes they don't know everything. So it's okay to reach out to the college representative to ask those questions, okay? Let's see, did you see Jasmine yet? She put it in the chat again. Okay. All right, okay. All right, any other questions? We really appreciate you all joining us. Thank you, reps. We know this is a crazy time. It's gonna look a lot different. So we appreciate you all giving time to Spring ISD and our students and parents to share your information. At this time, okay, okay, all right. Julian, what we can do is just email. When you logged in, you put in your email, so we can just email you Jasmine's information as well, okay? All right. Well, if you don't have any other questions, again, thank you so much, you all, for participating, and y'all have a good afternoon. All right.
Yeah, thank you all for having me.
Bye, everybody.